So I work alongside with this ministry called Dare to Share, and the reason why I say that's because it's the ministry that I know of personally, and so I can speak directly on what they do, of why it helped me to begin to think this thought. So Dare to Share, their basic focus is to energize the church, to mobilize teens, to gospelize their world. And so why teens? Because teens have like the they're the ones that are the quickest to grab the gospel, and if you don't get them when they're teenagers, when they're older, you know the statistics of them getting it is longer. Why teens and their leaders is because the 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 motor vehicle of teen ministry is like a speedboat, right? I'll do this next Wednesday. I'll do this next Wednesday. The vehicle of like big church is like a cruise ship. Like I gotta run it past the board, and we got some new people. I don't know if they're ready for it yet, and I don't know. I just are people. I don't think they're. I don't think they're. I don't know if they're ready. Then you're just still back on course. We call it either being gospelized or institutionalized. And so, why teens? That's the reason why. Why youth ministry? Why teen ministry? Student ministry is because of that. That effect. And so they did this survey, and it came up with 7 things, as if the gospel message of Christ crucified, buried, resurrected wasn't enough, right? There's 7 things that they found out that all these ministries that are thriving that they have. Intercessory prayer fuels it. If you believe that intercessory prayer, praying about God, praying to God about people before talking to people about God is important, we have one thing in common. If we don't have, if Christ crucified, we want to blur that. We want muddy the waters. If that can't be enough, can we at least agree that we need to talk to God about people before talking to people about God? Not just talk to God about people, but now we got to talk to people about God. If we can agree with that, boom. Relational evangelism drives it. Can we agree that we need to teach people how to relationally communicate this gospel and not this, let me forward you to my manager style of evangelism? Like, you kind of lead someone to like a point, and like you don't know what to say. And it's like, well, why don't you come to church with me? And like you bring them to your pastor. You're like, here, right? Like here, pastor, talk to him. I call that, let me forward you to my manager style of evangelism. And so we can agree that teaching people how to relationally share the gospel with their friends, their neighbors, their co-workers, classmates, teammates, strangers, the uttermost parts of the world. If we can agree that like training them to do that is important, that's 2 things. It's 2 things that we have in common. If we can agree that our leaders need to fully embrace these things, that we, as leaders, we need to be unified on like one common language, one common focus. Like, we can agree on that, we have 3 things in common already. Outside of Christ crucified, buried, resurrected, grace through faith. If that can't be enough, can we at least have 3 things in common already? 4th, if we can agree that a discipleship multiplication strategy should guide it. That there should be a method of having someone that doesn't believe to now believer to now someone who can communicate the gospel, if they can duplicate the process in others. If we can agree that that's important, we have 4 things in common already. 4 things. 4 things in common. That's what a bold vision focuses. If we can agree that we need a bigger, bolder vision for our youth ministries, for not just youth ministries, but our ministries, instead of just like coming together and just meeting. See, now Bible study anymore is just a group of people coming here, what they already hear, not doing what they know they ought to be doing. Come back next week. We'll meet again. And we can agree that we need a bigger, bolder vision for our churches. That's 5 things we have in common already. Biblical outcomes, measure it. If we can agree that with biblical outcomes, besides budget and butts in the seats, that there's like baptisms, there's new conversion growth, there's disciples being multiplied, and we can agree that those things are important as well. The 6 things already we have in common. And then we can agree that ongoing programs should reflect these efforts, that our daily, weekly, monthly, annual calendar should reflect that these things are important. That is 7 things we have in common. 7 things. And so what I've seen traditionally is that the church will bypass all 7 things and look at your fog lights. I mean, look at your lights. So bypass all these things and look at your stage design. Bypass all these things and just look at these just amoral things. it just, no, we can't work. No, 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 no. We're in the eye, there, and ear. We're in the eye, there, and ear. But they're part of the body. They're part of the body that is speaking the cause of Christ, that is speaking the gospel message. They're part of the body. Their way of doing it is different from yours. I get it. But they're part of the body. They're part of the body. They're part of the focus. And we can't reject them. We can't reject it because they're not like us. They don't do it like us. Thank God that they don't do it like us, that we're not all alike, and that we're unique. Had these different personalities and different ways of doing things. Thank God for that. So yeah, these things are common. Next one is, no one claimed that their possessions were their own, but they shared everything they had. As a certified trainer here locally, we're doing this event, and I'm blessed to be able to work with like 11 ministries. And so we kind of wrote down these 7 values. Which one are you strong in? Which one are you weak in? And it was great to see those that were strong in one be able to help and give like best practices to the people who are weaker in that value, and see these people as they're telling them how they do these things. They're like taking notes, and they're just having this conversation, this organic conversation that blesses me, man. To see that a church that is strong in one thing is willing to help and share and give resources to another church outside their denomination, that their ear is willing to talk to a nose and help the nose out, that the eye is helping the foot, like that blesses me, man. That they're finding these things and they're saying, these aren't even my own, but I'm willing to share these things with you. That blesses me.